gym. Was there any conversation around that at all?
Nah, even if it was, I don't even speak on, what other people got going on, I would love to fight.
During the week, Shakur Stevenson had Eddie Hearn, Terence Crawford, and Floyd Mayweather watch him spar. What he didn't expect, however, was an argument that broke out between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford after the session. The pair were ringside in the gym as he put in the work ahead of his next upcoming fight on February 22nd against Floyd Schofield. Speaking to Fight Hype, Stevenson said of the meeting of minds in boxing this week, "Man, I don't know how they were all there in the gym. I feel like I need an extra check for that. I'm always setting up these plays, but I don't always get the credit I deserve. Still, I put together a nice little play and had everybody pull up to the gym. I appreciate those guys for showing up and supporting me. I just try to take the knowledge and advice they give me and soak it all in." Mayweather had tried to sign Stevenson previously, but lost out to Hearn and Matchroom.
Hold me back. Hold me back. You'll fight Eddie.
While Hearn and Floyd Mayweather were all to put their rivalry aside to joke and discuss with one another, Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford had their friendship turn sour. This year is shaping up to be a big one for Stevenson, but next month, he needs to be impressive. As for Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, despite initially appearing friendly at the gym, they soon had a little argument after Crawford had said that he had no doubt he would defeat Floyd Mayweather.
Like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about like my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no Kid Austin, the fight that I got coming up. It was more so just watching my...
But what had initially brought them together was Shakur Stevenson's training methods. People do not realize how freakishly hard Shakur Stevenson trains, but this from Hearn gives a small insight into his mindset. Going without rest, breaks, and sleep is part of any high-level world championship professional boxer's life at times, they will tell you.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it ain't the first time you've been around Floyd. It ain't the first time you've been around any of those guys. But, that day, especially with you having this fight, and, a lot of people saying that maybe Kid Austin isn't ready for you. What kind of talk? What was the conversation like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about like my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no Kid Austin.
When to fight, when to train, and when to rest being key, and Hearn spoke to IFL on what he saw from Stevenson in the gym this week. What I love about being in environments like that is seeing the love for the sport. Last night, Terence was watching Shakur Stevenson spar. Shakur did 14 4-minute rounds with 30-second breaks. Terence and Floyd watched the entire session, then went to another ring to watch Ray Ford spar. Floyd loves boxing. Terence loves boxing. He's passionate about the sport, loves watching young fighters, giving advice, and seeing people from his community come through. It was pretty cool. 14-minute rounds with 30-second breaks with little rest is no joke. That is hard times for whoever was on the receiving end of the sparring from Stevenson. Stevenson had a badly bust hand last year, so bad it put him in a hospital bed at one point. This year will be big, most likely from him. He fights next month in one of the best cards ever seen in boxing history on February 22nd.
Hold up. So if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking.
However, Crawford claimed he was going to win a fight with Floyd Mayweather if they ever fought while the undefeated boxing legend was active. The switch hitter from Omaha, Nebraska is a 4-weight world champion with 31 stoppages to his name. He most recently won the World Boxing Association world title in the super welterweight ranks with a decision win over Israel Madrimov. That was the 4th division in which Crawford has won belts. He has also been undisputed in 2-1 of only 3 men to achieve that in the 4-belt era. As Crawford continues to stake his claim as the best of a generation, fans are debating how he fares compared to the all-time greats. One intriguing fantasy matchup is against the last dominant American, Floyd Mayweather.
Terence didn't mention the fight, didn't say anything. You didn't talk to him about it. Floyd, sorry. Not a peep.
Not a word.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Thanks, Eddie.
Money Mayweather famously retired undefeated in 2017 as one of the most lucrative stars the sport of boxing has ever seen. The defensive master beat the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, and Oscar De La Hoya. Would Crawford be on that list if the pair had crossed paths? Asked on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast how he would do against Mayweather, Crawford didn't hesitate to back himself. Me versus anybody. Crawford's trainer Brian Bomac McIntyre shares the same prediction, though he admits he is, like Crawford, biased. There are two things. For one, Crawford is like my son, so I'm going to always go with him. Terence has that dog in him. Terence didn't get to where he is now overnight. It's taken years and years.
That
would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
But if you put Bud in there in his prime with Mayweather in his prime, then of course Mayweather is going to be the smarter one, but I think Bud will have more dog in him. Whether or not Bud could break the famed defenses of Mayweather down will always be debated. The more realistic one for him right now is the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. When they face off in September, Shakur Stevenson thinks Terence Crawford will defeat Canelo Alvarez and can make it a very easy fight. Stevenson, the World Boxing Council lightweight champion, claims that for years he's been saying that Crawford will defeat Canelo.
Rumors of Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford, forgetting away.
Crawford, the World Boxing Association champion in the 154-pound light middleweight division, has promised to put on 14 pounds to compete in the highly anticipated bout, which would probably be the highest-paying day of his career. Stevenson was sure in his response when asked if he believes Crawford will win that matchup. I've been saying this for years now. I'm probably the first one that has been saying this, even before Terence is saying this. I always thought that his Crawford style versus Canelo, I think he beats Canelo, said Shakur Stevenson to TalkSport Boxing. Shakur Stevenson makes it seem like Terence Crawford will stand toe-to-toe and trade blows with Canelo Alvarez in September. However, that scenario seems unlikely given Crawford's usual approach when facing powerful punchers.
Classes, he's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. Is he the man to be?
He typically relies on movement, utilizing his jab and leaping into land shots before quickly repositioning. Crawford doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, largely because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. It would be a little over a year, 13 months. You gotta be very careful if you're going to take a fight above 160 pounds because it's a new weight range, said Chris Mannix on his YouTube channel about Terence Crawford taking a tune-up fight. It seems unlikely that Terence Crawford will take the risk of a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September.
Beat Canelo.
Yes, honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is.
If Crawford does compete in the weight class, it would probably be at a catch weight, potentially around 163 or 164 pounds against a middleweight moving up. Possible opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Kyrone Davis, fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. Another debate that'll keep being a topic in the boxing world is the greatest of all time debate, with many disagreeing with Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are two boxing legends who have left an indelible mark on the sport. Both are widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighters of their respective eras, sparking endless debates about who truly deserves the title of greatest of all time.
Do you respect the Floyd 50-0, or is it like?
You gotta respect anything a person does and stay undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all time? Nah.
Mayweather, with his perfect 50-0 record, is considered by many to be the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. His impenetrable defense and ability to control the pace of a fight made him a unique spectacle. Additionally, his career was marked by extraordinary commercial success, with 4 of the 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in boxing history. However, Roy Jones Jr., an undisputed champion across 4 weight classes, holds a different opinion. In an interview with Real Life Productions, when asked if he considered Mayweather the GOAT, Jones Jr. gave a simple but emphatic response: no! Slick but punishing Jones was the first man to win a middleweight world title and go on to do the same at heavyweight in over a century. He held top honors in 4 divisions throughout his storied career, beating the likes of James Toney, Bernard Hopkins and Antonio Tarver with an endlessly watchable style.
Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go up top there? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano. Right. So Rocky died.
Mayweather famously finished his campaign with a 50-0 perfect record, holding belts in 5 divisions and dazzling with a defense that is widely considered the very best in the business. He was also one of the most lucrative stars the sport has seen, claiming 4 of the top 5 biggest selling pay-per-view events. Speaking to real-life productions, Jones Jr. was asked if money. Mayweather's record meant he was the greatest of all time. He said no. Elaborating, Jones said there were more impressive campaigns out there. You have to respect anything a person does to stay undefeated that long. I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it 50-0 that I think he's the greatest fighter of all time? Nah. Julio Cesar Chavez went 80-0 at one point. 80. Are you gonna ever top that? No. He just didn't stop. Floyd got to 50-0 and stopped because of Rocky Marciano. Rocky died. If he wouldn't have died, he probably would have kept going too.
If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect it? Yeah. You feel me? Right. So, I mean, I love Floyd, don't get it wrong, I'm not hating on Floyd, but come on, bro, you fight a guy that's 0-0, Conor McGregor was 0-0, and they let you do that?
Jones then took issue in particular with Mayweather's farewell bout, a 10th round stoppage of UFC superstar Conor McGregor in his boxing debut. In the end, the debate over who is the GOAT will likely continue, fueled by the unique accomplishments and philosophies of these 2 icons of the sport. What was even more interesting was that after Mayweather and Crawford met, Eddie Hearn was also at the training camp to support Shakur Stevenson. Hence, it was becoming a small meeting of the biggest names in boxing. They say that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but in the times we live in, and with so many witnesses to what happens, especially if celebrities are present, it is difficult to keep it secret. And if you add to that equation the name of Floyd Mayweather, it is impossible to hide it. It turns out that a recent meeting between Money and the famous promoter Eddie Hearn in a gym in Sin City sparked sparks. And although the whole moment was wrapped in jocular comments, this does not mean that they were not throwing each other.
I'm gonna tell you why I like Eddie. So one day, somebody asked, because you know I don't have social media on my phone. Yeah. So they showed me Eddie. Eddie was like, "Boy, Mayweather ain't got no money."
It should be remembered that Hearn was repeating some time ago in every space he was given that Floyd Mayweather had no money, or at least not the money he claims to have, and that this was why he was performing or looking for exhibition fights. Money earned so much during his stellar boxing career, pocketing in excess of $1.2 billion in total earnings, including from his lucrative paydays against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. Widespread reports indicate that Mayweather's current total net worth is around $400 million, which has allowed him to live an extravagant lifestyle outside of the squared circle. Despite retiring from the professional ranks in 2017, Mayweather has been fighting in a series of remunerative exhibitions against some lesser opposition, including Deji and Logan Paul.
That's why he's doing exhibitions. No, Eddie don't believe that now.
Yeah. But Eddie will say some shit like that, man.
Eddie will say some shit, but one thing.
The boxing legend has repeatedly insisted he is earning 8-figure paydays from each, even going as far as to nickname them legalized bank robberies. But when explaining why he was accepting the showman-style events, he insisted it was to continue to build his generational wealth. Matchroom boxing promoter Hearn made the suggestion in multiple interviews that Mayweather's net worth wasn't the same as many expected due to his plush purchases. He said, "I don't think he's got the money he says, that's what I think. I don't think he needs the money, but you know when you've got that lifestyle, when he's spending what he's spending."
Don't worry about that, but me and Eddie got it clear, didn't we, Eddie? Yeah. One thing, me and my buddy got it clear.
We said as long as it's 10 or 20, no problem. Anything less.
The climax came when Money ran into him in Las Vegas and confronted him about it. The undefeated former boxer claimed that Hearn sometimes makes those kinds of comments and that they had even already cleared it up. So they began to joke as if the news had been real, to make jokes and to throw themselves at each other again, while their respective groups of friends celebrated what was said by both. The pair crossed paths in Las Vegas in a boxing gym as they watched some sparring as they were both in town for the fight between Diego Pacheco and Steve Nelson. Mayweather jokingly began in a conversation. So one day somebody said, "'Cause you know I don't have social media on my phone, so they showed me Eddie."
Can't be less than 10. Because then we're struggling for money.
I had to show Eddie some of the account.
Eddie was like, "Floyd Mayweather Jr. ain't got no money. That's why he is doing exhibitions." Eddie doesn't believe that. I know he says some stuff like that, but me and Eddie got it clear. Mayweather had a smug grin across his face, as did Hearn, and the pair then shook hands. The promoter then responded, "Yeah, as long as it is 10 or 20, there is no problem. Anything less, it can't be less than 10. The gag sent Mayweather bursting out laughing with a member of his team, as it was abundantly clear there were no hard feelings.
Imagine how much money Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mayweather Jr. mentioned that he had even shown his bank accounts to Hearn. Mayweather then clarified, "Listen, I had to show Eddie some of my accounts." Hearn then concluded, "Imagine how much Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter. Do you know what I'm saying?" Mayweather is clearly not short of cash, and it is no wonder given his remarkable spending sprees in recent months. The boxing legend has invested heavily in real estate, including his biggest ever $402 million purchase of a series of apartment blocks.
Hold me back.
They say that many a true word is spoken in jest, but at least in reality, and in the light of the facts, this does not apply to Money, who remains one of the richest former sportsmen in the world. It is currently unclear if he has any more exhibitions lined up, but he has continued to be linked to lucrative return bouts. Hearn never promoted Mayweather, but likely wishes he did, given the star power of the American. His pay-per-view events against Pacquiao in 2015 and McGregor in 2017 remain the two biggest earning fights in the modern era.
When I come and do an exhibition or come out and box and have some fun, I do it because I want to do it, not because I have to.
However, despite making an absurd amount of money throughout his professional boxing career, which lasted over 20 years, there have been stories over the years which have surfaced about Mayweather not being so smart with his money, and even in the build-up to his huge fight against Conor McGregor in 2017, the Irishman insinuated in the build-up that the undefeated former boxing world champion had tax issues. Despite being by far the richest fighter in boxing history, Floyd Mayweather's wealth following the end of his professional boxing career has come into question, with Eddie Hearn asking about Mayweather's wealth.
I think that Mayweather was unquestionably one of the best ever. But I don't know.
In a recent interview with GRM Daily, Hearn has questioned Money Mayweather's wealth, saying that he thinks the 50-0 fighter does not have as much money as he says. "I don't think he's got the money he says, that's what I think. I don't think he needs the money, but you know when you've got that lifestyle, when he's spending what he's spending." As a result, Floyd Mayweather has responded with a new video on his Instagram, where he even boasted more than he would normally do in order to fire shots at Hearn and prove Hearn's claims as false.
It's difficult to say he's not a true fighter because he fought everybody he could of his era. But he was a different kind of skill set, you know. He was very much hit and don't get hit, which is the art of boxing.
In the video, he was presented a check, and he continued by intentionally announcing amount in the check and said, "You know what we do, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, CEO of Zeus, I appreciate you. You guys always do great business. That's 6 zeros. It's not bad. It's a deal. I appreciate it."
Boy, good to see you again, man.
Come on, let me what's going on.
The money man is back, you know?
You know what we do, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, CEO of Zeus, Lemmy. I want to say I appreciate you. You guys always do great business.
Thank
and
you.
Of course,
you know, we
if I'm the money man, they gotta have some fun. You know?
He then graced another interview where he trolled Eddie Hearn, saying, "When I come and do an exhibition, it's because I love the sport and I feel like it." Floyd Mayweather is known throughout the world of combat sports to be the biggest moneymaker in boxing history. Mayweather, 47, enjoyed a perfect professional boxing career and retired with an unheard of 50-0 record, where he managed to become by far the biggest draw in boxing, generating billions of dollars of revenue across his 50-fight career.
I I think sometimes when these guys carry on and they do the exhibitions and all that kind of stuff, it just sort of diminishes the legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Hearn's comments certainly hold weight, as throughout his career, Mayweather has always been seen bragging and publicly displaying his cash and businesses, but has also been accused in the past of not being very smart with his money. Despite finishing his professional boxing career with a huge payday in one of the biggest fights in the sport's history against former two-division UFC champion Conor McGregor, Mayweather still participates in exhibition bouts. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.